in 2020, we had a whole COVID thing. And I think it's fair to say that the majority of the earth jumped on board, followed suit, took to heart the recommendation, like their life depended on it. And when the governments proposed the vaccine as the solution, the majority of people accepted. Yeah. So what does that say? That say, first, they're scared. Rightfully so, because they're being made to be scared. But what's it really saying? It's saying they don't know how their bodies work. They don't know what health is. They don't know what disease is. They've been told stories since they're kids about the process of disease. There's a thing that flies. It's called a virus. And it'll kill you. And this has been systematically rammed into their minds. I think the virus concept is 200 years old, more or less. I'm not sure, I don't remember, right? With Pasteur. People are scared. But what is that fear really highlighting? Are they scared of a virus, or are they scared about everything they don't actually know? So obviously on this channel, if you're listening, you know I like to talk about everything we don't know. It's just what I call the unconscious realm and beyond. And I've said it 1,000 times, people live at the surface of the surface. And in a few minutes, the surface of the surface will be even more surface. So the moment we speak about a virus or we speak about a disease, immediately panic arises. And of course, the disease, the viruses, all these concepts are supported by science, which is the religion. Non-negotiable, cannot argue, cannot debate. What's the underlying issue? It's that you have no idea. Now, the majority of people do not have even the decency or the honesty to say, you know what, I have no fucking idea. That's the truth. I don't know how any of it works. I don't know how my body works. I don't understand what health is. I don't understand how to maintain health. I don't know how to build health. When I have a disease, I don't know where it comes from. I don't even know who I am. I have no sense of how my mind operates. I don't know the connection between my mind, my emotions, and my body. And even though it may be a fad to read it in a book, and I may believe what the book says because it's, Deepak Chopra era, do I actually really know, like practically, experientially? Maybe at the surface, but do you really get it? And you know how deep the rabbit hole goes. The average person, of course, doesn't know that. So somehow, some way, it's very convenient to hold on to the theory or the belief that there's a flying thing that's going to invade you and murder you, because now I don't have to take any accountability or responsibility for my body, my health, my life. And as we've said 1,000 times, and I'm going to repeat it again, health is the very foundation of life. I think we can all agree. You're healthy in order to live and to accomplish the purpose of life, which of course nobody wants to speak about because apparently it's relative. When you play Zelda, everybody plays Zelda differently. There's not a goal. There's no purpose to Zelda. It's just to walk around. Right. You see what I'm trying to say? What's this car game people play that Dr. Dre made an album for? GTA? Right? If I never played that shit. This is past my time. But I'm pretty sure GTA has a goal. But then people could just drive around and fuck around and shoot people and kill people. I don't know what they do. I'm pretty sure they fuck people nowadays. Or just listen to the music while they drive on the highway. I don't know, but the game has a purpose. So health, life, purpose. So this is already just kind of like hinting towards the infinity of the unknown. And everybody's scared. So what's the solution? Let's put all of that, hide it, and there's a firewall. It's called a virus. The virus is the cause of your ailments. The bacteria is the cause of your sufferings. A chromosome that decided to flip on you is the cause of your illness called aka cancer. Autoimmune disease, your own immune system decided that you're the problem and it decided to eat you. Now that's a very scary thing, but considering that you are facing annihilation, that means the infinite darkness of everything you don't know, the fear of being eaten by your own blood cells, it's fine. People are special, what can I say? And your average person will never understand what I'm saying. They cannot. Because they're so stuck. No, science says. Yeah, science. Science says whatever the fuck it wants to say. It creates a narrative to make a point. And the point is what it wants to say. And here you go. But you don't know. That's what it is. And remember, today you cannot contest science because that's what it is. Only intelligent people know that this is what it is. And I'm telling you, a couple of 100 years ago, religion was the same thing. They told you there was a devil, and the devil came in, invaded you, and made you insane. And this was, you cannot argue. It's facts. Who says so? God in his book. And the priests, which are the doctors nowadays. So I'm not here to talk about health today. You can check out my green Adidas jacket series. I'll talk about that with my machine gun. The point is, people are very happy and comfortable holding on to some kind of bullshit narrative at the surface to prevent them from actually facing the infinite unknown. So let's apply this to sexuality. Men can speak of sexual ailments, for example, premature ejaculation, A. B, I can't come ever. Let's say STD, but STD could fit in the category of disease, but let's just consider it sexual. And from the woman's, erectile dysfunction. If we go to the woman's side, she don't get wet, it hurts, vaginitis, etc., etc. We can go through a whole long list, and then we can get into the inner organs, and it gets just more complex. But at the end of the day, it seems it's very intimately tied to health, in one way or another. But let's say to the basic ones that everybody knows, you can't come, you come too fast, your dick doesn't get hard, your pussy don't get wet. It's fun to talk like that. Your pussy don't get wet, it hurts when you stick a dick in it, and whatnot. Great. So now you get obsessed with that. Girls get now obsessed with, well, am I going to get wet? Am I going to get wet? The guy on his side is like, am I going to get a boner? Obsessed. Now, I think guys, you'll relate. You get obsessed with your performance, which is based on an external marker of success. I have a long, big dick. I can fuck for a long time and quote unquote give her orgasms. And then the girl, she has her thing on her side. She wants to please you. She wants to like you. She wants you to like her. She wants to be the best sex you've ever had. She wants to offer you technically an experience. On her side also. So she has her stress. She wants to feel pretty. She wants to be luscious. She wants to be wet and juicy. She wants to be able to let go and just like indulge herself in the lust of sexuality so that you can have this like, this festival of juices. Right? So everybody's now coming at the game with all that pressure. And that's what it is. And then something happens. It's never what you dreamed of. Seldom. Unless you're influenced on the alcohol, cocaine, or some other products. I think it's fair to say. So, what's the issue? Do you have an erectile dysfunction? Do you have a premature ejaculation problem? Do you have a stiff dick problem? You can't come ever? In other words, you don't feel? Is that really the issue, or is that a symptom? And what is that symptom pointing to? So I'm not going to deny that you may have a quote-unquote a cancer. It's a symptom. It's not a disease. It's a symptom. I'm not going to deny that you may have a quote-unquote cold. It's a symptom. These are symptoms. To what now you associate the symptom, what is the cause of the symptom in your brain depends on what you're ready to face about life. So what does your average person do? They become obsessed. The girl becomes obsessed with her ass. Obsessed with, am I going to be wet? Is my pussy going to be juicy? Is it going to hurt? Why is it hurting? What's wrong with me? Why am I hurting? Why am I not like the other girls? And then she'll take a girl that's in her class, at her office, and she'll use her as, this is the pinnacle of sexuality. If my boyfriend gets with her, or this guy gets with her, she's going to give him the greatest sex. It's going to be like porn. She's so able to relax and open up and just have bliss and orgasms. And she can suck anybody's dick better than anybody because she's the most, right? That's sex. I think, again, it's fair to say, this is sex for your average individual. Is it sex? Just like we spoke about the crazy people with their bacteria and viruses, is this health really? Or is the surface of the surface of the surface? So your average guy, and I understand, don't get me wrong, I've gone through this process, is only obsessed with getting high, that means coming, getting a sensation, and proving and getting validated by the woman via his performance, and the woman is similar on her side. But that's not sexuality. That's what you think sexuality is, which is based on pornography and what's been sold to you via the media. But that's not what sexuality is. But how often do we speak about that? Well, what is sexuality? Well, we spoke about this in so many videos. Like, I think the channel is like 50% some of that stuff and 50% crazy ass stuff. But that's not sexuality, that's rubbing. That's masturbation. That's surface level bogus masturbation. So when you as a man meet a woman, you just want to come. I think it's fair to say. But you're not interested in sexuality as an art form. And sexuality cannot be separated from your body, cannot be separated from your mind, cannot be separated from who you are as an individual, and cannot be separated from life as a whole. It's one big thing. But I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with myself. I don't want to deal with my mind, my emotions, my traumas. I don't want any of that. I just want to come. I don't want to deal with what's life and what's the purpose of life. What does this have to do with sex? Everything. You can't separate, you can't take a person and break him in pieces and isolate one. In fact, you can do that, but then that's what you get. Nonsense, neuroticism, madness, stupidity. Because it's not made to be divided. It's one. Everything is connected. Again, so it's much easier to say, well, I have a dick problem, I can't come, or I come too fast. And now start obsessing with that, and then scrolling the internet to find a video on 5 ways to not come again, ever, and offer her the best sex of her entire life in 5 minutes. But wait a minute, that symptom is your gateway to discovering your sexuality. Sexuality, I just described, is huge. It's your gateway to discover yourself as a man. When I say that, it involves your mind, your emotions, your traumas, your past, who you are, your destiny, what you're made of, your ancestors, your lineage, and how all that connects to nature and the path. Dharma, in other words. Yeah, that's sex. We're talking about the same thing. Who the hell wants to do that? No, I just want to come. Great, so that's it. So you want to come. So come, enjoy. What can I say? If you want to discover now sexuality, you have to, if you have that symptom, you have to take a step back, but you don't even care because the only thing that you care about is your performance and your validation. That's all you care about. You don't give a fuck about sexuality, the art form. You don't care to discover who you really are in all of this. All you want to do is prove to the girl that you're the man. That's what you're obsessed with. That's not crazy in your opinion? Isn't that the definition of madness? So that's your average guy. He doesn't give a fuck. What I'm saying doesn't interest him. This is, no, just give me a solution so I can go fuck our brains out and I can be the man. And I can outperform the other monkeys that came before. And hence win the trophy. I am LeBron James. I'm the winner. I'm Mayweather. I am the king of her pussy. Nobody cares. It's not fair to say nobody, but nobody cares about actual sexuality. There's an actual person. There's you. You are a person. There's two people meeting. So what's sexuality if it's not a dance of creative powers? So you're the man. No, you're not the man. You are a man. So you have the masculine energy, and she's the woman. She has the feminine energy. And these energies now are going to meet on the outside, meaning I'm the man and she's the woman on the outside, because these energies are inside of you. And how are these energies now gonna dance? I don't care about that. I just want to come. I want to prove to her I'm the man. That's all I care about. Wait, but I just told you sexuality is so much more complex. Listen, bro, the entire creation is made of sexual powers, masculine principle, feminine principle coming together and dancing, and the whole entire show is made of those dances, and they're in your fucking pants, through your fucking spine, and then she is the opposite side, and then you're meeting. I'm going to say it again. The entire creation is a dance of the sexual, primal, masculine, and feminine energy. The whole creation. So everything you think that you know, everything you can imagine, and everything you cannot even imagine is the coming of and the dance of these two energies. And you, as a man, have half of that power, the masculine principle, the same one that has created the entire cosmos, lives in you, and the other half lives in her in an expressive form, meaning you're the man and she's the woman, because the feminine energy is in you, in the man, and the masculine energy is in the woman also, but latent in the back. Do you understand what I just said? That's sexuality. You're the alchemist. It's like God. So you understand? Like if you want to learn how to do boxing, boxing is relatively simple. Let's use Muay Thai. Muay Thai is a little more complex. You have more limbs. Then add to this MMA, jiu-jitsu, and groundwork, and wrestling and whatnot. It gets complicated. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's pretty basic. Now I'm talking about creation. Like God. Well, that's an infinitely more complex game. I think you can agree. And this is in sexuality. So you little prick going out and just wanting to use her as a Kleenex to masturbate in, this is the surface of 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 sexuality. And what I'm saying lives in the potential. That's all I'm saying. All that is in sexuality. And here you are obsessed with, well, why am I coming fast? How can I prove to her that I'm better than her previous boyfriend? Oh no, if I don't perform well, she'll leave me and go with that guy again. Or she's going to go with the guy you want to fuck, technically. She's going to go with him. That's neurosis. That's faulty thinking. You think dumb. So because you think dumb, do you know what faulty thinking means? It means you're not thinking properly. It's like if I give you one, I got a perfect example. If I give you two halves plus 1/2 equals, and you come up with 3/4. That's faulty thinking. You're not thinking properly, hence you're not getting the proper answer. With proper reasoning, then you're going to get to 3/2. That would be the proper answer. That's proper thinking. Now, if you have a faulty thinking, you get to 3/4, and you're not able to solve your equation. You're not able to divide your pizzas properly. You're not able to think properly and get to a proper result, which creates anxiety, all kinds of problems, and side effects, which will just start to perpetuate themselves. Faulty thinking. This is a very, 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 very basic example of faulty thinking. In your brain, your mind, how it processes things, how it sees things, that's what I mean, faulty thinking. You don't understand what life is about, how reality is, in order to be able to assess, interpret your experiences. So your faulty thinking now is to think that sexuality is just you rubbing and coming and being the man, the victorious one, the one who has conquered the other men. And it's not that may not exist in a tiny component, because we are all monkeys. Yeah, but we're monkeys this much out of infinity. If a human being is, let's say we break human beings to 100 units, I'm talking about the depth of the human being with the mind and the psyche, and yeah, we have a monkey body, this much. I'm not saying no. For you, that's become the whole thing. What about the rest? Back to what I was saying. So if playing jiu-jitsu is complicated, how much infinitely more complex is sexuality in its real, when there's a proper understanding? And what is the consequence of not respecting sexuality? Anxiety, neurosis, and madness. This is what you see everywhere around you. Look around. Listen, with all due respect, you have people who are blue who think they're red. And I'm not talking about politics. It's insane. This is normal. What does that say? There's a mass hysteria. Madness. Everybody's confused. That's sexuality. Yeah, because sexuality is not a rubbing game. Sexuality is a creation game. And it's a huge game. So who's teaching you about it this way? I don't want to say nobody, but mostly nobody. And it's not easy. And on top of that, you're insane. You've self-hypnotized yourself and created the habit that you don't want to come. We've had a video about the necessity to ejaculate because your body is pressure intense. Did we do that? Check here. That's sex for you. But what I'm trying to say is that that's not sexuality. But on top of the fact that that's not sexuality, and you may have an interest in discovering sexuality, your system has the habit of eating refined sugar. So you always need it, which is to come. Come, fast, 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 quick, 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 quick. But the very definition of sexuality means a partnership, meaning a merger of two energies. That's called intimacy. And I think it's fair to say that your average person today is insane and totally terrified of intimacy, and rightly so. Because number one, you don't know how to be intimate. You don't have yourself to be intimate with another person. And the reasons you meet other people or get with other people is to compensate for your emptiness, not for the sake of potentizing what you have and making it more. You're going to go date that girl so she can validate your lack of self-confidence you demand. That's why you go with her. You don't have inner love, you trade your time for affection. Because you don't have self-affection. So on top of that, your principle is weak and her principle is weak. There's no intimacy possible. How are you going to have intimacy if you can't allow yourself to be vulnerable? Vulnerable means you remove your shield. I didn't say vulnerable equals weak. That means you're honest, transparent. This is who I am, in other words. That's vulnerability. This is who I am. Not this is who I am, poor me, please love me, I'm pathetic. That's not vulnerability. That's manipulation. Vulnerability means this is who I am. I know who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am, and I'm revealing that to you, and she does the same. And then there's a meeting. That's called vulnerability in my book. It's not let's cry, poor me, poor you, poor us, poor humanity, and let's just like bathe in this mucus soup of filth and toxins. Nah, that may exist inside of you that needs to be cleansed out so that you can have real vulnerability. In other words, real self-intimacy so that your nervous system is solid and tight and can channel and hold you down. And the same applies to her. Anyways, I'm putting a lot of information together. Maybe you're having a hard time to follow. You're going to have to listen to this video again. The point is, sexuality is a supreme sport. It is the sport of creation. The entire game of life, which is not limited to your little, I want to make money, get rich, and buy a car. The entire game of life is based on sexual power. And here you are, you get to learn how to be the God with her. So now that we've said all of this, you can understand how preposterous it is. I'm obsessed, I come too fast. And it's not to say that you don't come too fast. It's not to say that you don't feel a form of humiliation. Yeah, I respect that you feel like that. But do you really feel like that because you came too fast? Or do you feel like that because that's how you really feel about yourself? And in the sexual encounter, even though it's totally blah, because the sexuality always reveals the truth. So now the truth is in your face. This ain't got nothing to do with her. You are powerless. You're not powerful. You do feel guilt. You do feel shame. You do feel disgusting. You do not love yourself. You feel like a fraud. What does that have to do with her? Nothing. And what does that have to do with, quote unquote, coming too fast? Now, if you want to look at it, coming too fast, let's just use this one as an example. It obviously says that your nervous system is over-irritated. That means that any stimulation is too much, too fast. Great! But what makes it that it's like that in the first place? So I don't want to break it down here. It's not the point. The point is, all of that is tied to your mind, how your mind thinks, the overactivation of your mind, overstressing your mind, etc., 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 etc. All this connects to the pumping system and the pressure systems in your body, your heart. Anyways, blah, 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 blah. The point is, sexuality is not you rubbing yourself in her. It's a world. And unless you have an interest in discovering this, you're always going to be stuck at the surface with your surface problems. I come too fast, I never come, I don't get an erection, my erection is not hard enough, I can't give her enough orgasm and please her, and her on her side with all her nonsense. And you have these two complex, I think it's the right word, complex individuals that meet in the most awkward of situations and then want to dance? Listen, y'all know about sports. So let's use hockey as an example. We can use basketball. Irvin Johnson, Magic Johnson, played basketball with a bunch of other guys. I think they won 5 trophies together. They had chemistry. They knew each other. They know where the other one's going to be. They know how they think. They have intimacy with one another. And I'm not talking about the fact that they're fucking each other up their asses. They know each other. And it's that chemistry that makes it that they can dance on the basketball field and make it look like magic. So this is basketball. It's a tiny, tiny thing, but there's an intimacy. I know that's my dude. I know who he is. I know what he likes. I know what he doesn't like. I know what when he eats this, how he's going to play. I know how he's going to respond because I know him. I have a form of intimacy at a certain level with that person, which makes it that there's a chemistry and it moves and it flows and it dances. This is dancing. Then there's dancing partners. People, let's say they dance flamenco. Any dance, salsa. It's not every person is fluid. No, because it's sometimes weird. It doesn't flow. It doesn't like move, right? So now we're talking about the same thing in sexuality, but except that the dance is cosmic. It's not a small dance. It's a huge dance, an infinite dance. It is the supreme dance. That's what you have the opportunity to learn. And here you are obsessing with your vagina or your penis. Even monkeys are not obsessed like that. They don't care. So again, it's not that I don't understand. I totally understand. I've been through it in my own way, of course. The point is, what did I have to learn? You're not approaching sexuality the proper way. Faulty thinking. You got onto the arena and you don't understand the game you're trying to play. You're trying to make this game into something else, which now is creating a bunch of other symptoms. Even though I may play the part and be able to fool her and fool him and fool her and fool them, it don't matter. This is not what the game was about. This is a sport of creation. And here you are trying to play it just to get props and applause. So like an animal, you can be like, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Bitch, I'm the man. You know I'm the man. Bitch, I'm the man. You know I'm the man. Yeah, that's it. That's what you want. You want to be 50 Cent.